Okay, this is part two of the lathe work. I'm going to get a close-up so you can see the before and after. I'm just doing some sanding right now. Um, like I said, this is going to be a cup. I have the hollow side. This part right here, I went a little bit too deep. So I may either put a decorative bead in there, and it's definitely not quite finished because it's a little rough right here. So I need to smooth it out just a little. That's the walnut doing that. Take my little key out so it doesn't start by accident. The poplar was surprisingly rough. It was hard to cut. And I can feel a little lip right there. Well, that's where I had cut it too deep. But the poplar was surprisingly rough to cut. The pine actually did well. I'm pleased. There's a few rough spots here and there, but by the time I finish up, I'll probably give it some sanding. I'm going to show you a few sanding. Do a little bit of sanding here. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I love that knot in here, the grain of the pine. I like the contrast with the poplar. It's got sort of a wavy grain, and the walnut, I haven't quite figured it out yet. It's a little rough. I think I need to smooth that out just a little bit more. I've sanded it already, and it's just not quite where I want it to be. Let me do just a little bit more lathe work, then I'll show you the sanding. Need some windshield wipers. How dirty that gets. Wipe it off real quick. That's good enough. I can see again. So let me get the tool rest over here. I'm not going to do much because I pretty much like it the way it is. You know, I don't mind a little bit of roughness. And let's see. I said earlier it might turn out to be about 2.5 inches wide. Let's see exactly what it is. 2 3/4. So I think I said 2.5 to 2 3/4. So started out as a little over 3. So I'm just going to do a little bit more lathe. I like to see if I can get that that groove out, that little concave groove. I don't mind it. I just would rather it be completely round. But here we go. Well, that almost took it out. I'm afraid if I take too much out, it's going to be won't be quite quite thick enough. Well, actually, I might need to take it out anyway, so I'll decide. The reason I don't want to really put any kind of a I forgot what it's called. I just call it a groove. I don't want to put a groove or a bead in here because I love that knot in it. So I really want to keep that little bit of detail in there. Let's see, I'll do a little more. That's pretty good. I like it. The walnut's coming out a little bit better, smoothing out. This is actually, basically, I'm just scraping the wood. I'm not really cutting too much. I'm just barely taking small, tiny little shavings off, like you can see. I'm gonna do a little bit more, and then I'll do some sanding. Put just a little bit of a bead on, kind of a bevel on here. I think I got it out. Pretty much. I pretty much got it out. So it's not looking bad. It's not looking bad at all. I kind of like it. Gives a lot of contrast. You got brown, sort of greenish yellow, the yellow of the pine, white and yellow of the pine. I love the knot. I love the grain of the pine. So here's what we're going to do. I'll show you a little bit of sanding. I have 100 grit. Just think, yep, 100, 400. I think I'm going to do a little bit of experiment. This is risky. I am going to do about a 80 grit. No, you know what? I'm not. Forget that. That might just eat it up too much. So I'm going to do 100, 400, and then 1500. And the 1500 should polish it. It should polish this so the walnut should actually be shiny. That's what I'm hoping. That's what's happened in the past. So we're going to find out. And I like to do it till I feel the sandpaper getting hot or warm, and I know it's enough. There is still a little bit of a bevel in the pine, so I'm going to leave it, give it a kind of a rustic look. So here we go with the 400. Actually, I think I'm going to use 220. Let me get a 220. Here's a 220 grit. That's looking nice. On the 400 grit. Now, it's got a lot of dust on it, so I'm going to wipe it off with this rag. It's already looking shiny. I don't know if you can see that. So my little secret, what I call secret, it looks like it's got metal dust on it. So let me get a clean sheet. My little secret, I like it anyway, is to use 1500 grit. It's wet dry sandpaper, and it just feels like it's hard to describe, but it's just very, very fine. You'd swear it's not even sandpaper, but this should really shine the wood up quite a bit, and got a few low spots still, so I may have to do a little more blading, but we'll see. I might leave it like that. 1500 grit. You can feel the sandpaper getting hot on your finger, so that's that looks cool. Now it looks a little tough, rough right now. Yeah, I can feel some little bit of indentation, so it's a little rough, but we're going to do some little bit of magic here. All I'm doing is getting the real fine dust off that the 1500 grit leaves. You can see it right there. You can see it on the cloth. Let me get a clean spot right here. You'll see it's, well, there may not be much left, but you'll see some real fine dust. Oh, sorry. Well, you can't really see it. There's just a little bit on there now because I took it off, most of it off with the first pass. Now that's got some, that's a little bit too rough for me. I want to get this shiny like this section here. So I may have to do a little more lathe work. And that's actually still a little flat. So, or I may leave it and just give it a rustic look. But that's shiny. Let me look in the camera. See if you see what I see. Get a little bit closer. That's as close as I can get, but you can see what I'm seeing. Let me get a little different angle. I'm trying to get it in the light where you can, let me take this off the tripod. But you can see how shiny it is. And I haven't put a finish on it, no paste wax, nothing. That's just strictly with the 1500 grit. I do, if I did a 80 grit like I was going to do, it would actually, I wouldn't have to lathe. It would actually pretty much sand it down, get the grooves out. But I don't want to do that. It's a little more work. So it's basically 100 grit, 220, 400, and then you finish up with 1500. And you get it's like glass. I mean, you can see how shiny it is. Now, just to show you, get this on here real quick without shutting you off. Just to show you what happens when you put paste wax on. I'll put a little bit of paste wax on here. Use the same cloth, use the other side of the cloth. A little bit of paste wax. If I put this on, I probably just leave it. I won't do anything else. This is just, again, this is, that bevel came out really nice. Well, a little bit of a bandsaw mark. I actually might put some 80 grit on that. I didn't see that. So I may have to fix that. But anyway, let me get the opener for that. Here's the proper way to open these cans. I can't see what you're seeing, but you do not open it like this. That will dent the can. That will dent the lid. You actually get this first little lip. Pry it open. I'm showing you this because some people don't really know that. There's some paste wax. Put a little bit on this. This is actually paper towels, but it's great. It's like cloth. So this is the best stuff. I used to use this in my cleaning business years ago. It's the best paper towels you could ever want. You could reuse them, wash them a little bit. So now you're going to see the baby shine like glass. You should. You better. Here we go. A little more on there. That looks beautiful. Boy, I love that. Now I get a dry one, a dry cloth. Kind of fold it, give it a little more strength, and I just use it like a buffing agent, like a buffing cloth. Let's see what we got here, folks. That looks incredible. Wow. Let me see if you can see what I'm seeing. That walnut looks absolutely stunning. Well, let me get you closer. I'm not sure how this looks from your angle, but whoops, let me take the key off first. I'm accidentally starting on me. That you can see the walnut is just gorgeous. The poplar looks great, sort of a greenish, yellowish. The pine looks beautiful. I like it. Oops, sorry about that. I like it. Let me zoom back out. That would help. Okay, there we go. So I like it. You can see now that's with 2 coats of paste wax, and then you polish it. I think I'm going to leave it like that, actually. I don't think I'm going to touch it. I like it just the way it is. Normally I wouldn't finish the inside. There's a few rough spots, but like I said, I haven't done this for 40 years. So you can feel little imperfections. I may or may not redo it. I'm not sure. You know, but I just want to show what's possible. Just the possibilities. I love that walnut. Pretty sure that's walnut. The poplar looks great. I think if I had to do it again, I would have put 2 layers of poplar. Put walnut here, and then 2 layers of poplar, because that's a great contrast. Or 2 layers of pine. Yeah, that's beautiful. Wow. I am thrilled with that. So now I just have to turn it around, screw into here, and I hate to screw into that, but I don't have a choice. I don't have a chuck. And those are like at least $100. So I have to save some money up to buy one. But that's what we're going to do on the spring pole lathe eventually. We'll get the same finish. Might be a little rougher, but yeah, that's cool. All right. See y'all later.